so excited to tackle this week, and I really wanted to pick up the camera to take you along. I actually started drawing when I was really young, and I used to sit way too late, like till 2 a.m. up at night. I have actually been able to go and visit them, and we've done some test prints. The detail is just so much more vibrant. That's literally perfect. I'm so excited. Hi, and welcome to another week in the studio. It's so sunny and lovely outside. I'm just feeling so energetic, and I'm so excited to tackle this week, and I really wanted to pick up the camera to take you along because we're doing so much fun stuff this week. We're illustrating the last products, we're ordering products, we're doing lots of packing, we're setting up my website. So much fun stuff. And if you're new here, my name is Malin, and I run this little studio on the side of my branding business. So I am full-time self-employed, but this part where I illustrate like greeting cards, notepads, stationery, like bookmarks and things, that's kind of my side business. And I love to be inspired by like woodsy themes. I grew up in the woods a little bit, and also by my garden. So I'm a huge gardener, and I love growing my own food and doing things like that, and that is also happening so much this week. So I'll give you some sneak peeks of the garden and the greenhouse and how everything is looking. It's been quite a while since I talked to you last because I was first running the Christmas shop. That was so exciting, and I'll tell you all about it. And then we had Christmas break, and then I was fully intending on coming back and doing vlogs, but I'm also a mom of a 5-year-old, soon to be 5-year-old. And I also, like I said, I run my other design business, and we got absolutely inundated with work. So I've been working so much, and it's basically been like a full-time 100 to 200% of client work. But then we've also been sick for most of this time. So I just really have not had the time to be able to prioritize the stationery side, and that's totally fine. Like if you're someone who is maybe a parent, or you have a full-time job or a part-time job, or even just a person with maybe a little bit less energy, that's totally fine. Sometimes we just need to give ourselves a little bit of space to recover or focus on other things. We can always come back. Like I always felt a little bit unsure to come back after I've been away for a while, but just do it. It's fine. No one is going to be upset about it. It's just fun to connect again. So here we are. One thing that I wanted to do first is just tell you about the Christmas shop, because that was something that I think I talked about the first week of how it went and how people were so lovely and came and visited, and all the neighbors came and everything. And then I was open three more weekends, and it was such a great experience. Like my biggest worry, because I know how hard marketing is, was that basically no one would show up and I would just be sitting there alone. Luckily, I had my mom with me, so I did have company. But it was really great. And I think we sold all in all about 200 items, which I know it was across like 8 days, but it's just still such a great thing to see how people are picking up different items and combining them and making gifts and things. So basically, I've been making all of my stationery here with my home printer. So it's an EcoTank, and it's been really great, and it was such a great way to get started and be able to test out different products and designs. But now my focus is really to start getting into different shops. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to sell, hundreds at a time. In that case, it's going to be quite impossible for me to be able to actually make all of that by hand. So therefore, I have found a printing company that is only 10 minutes away from me. And I've been working quite a lot with print when I've been working with client projects, and I know how important it is to have a good printing contact. So I know when I watch other people's vlogs that a lot of people go to these online companies, and they can be really great. But the thing is, you usually don't really have a direct person to talk to. It can be harder, like you have to go through some sort of customer service portal. But in this case, because they're only 10 minutes away, I actually been able to go and visit them, and we've done some test prints, and so I'm getting all of the actual products delivered this week, which is super exciting. So I kind of know what they look like, and I'm going to show you some samples in a second. The other thing, of course, is they don't have to be shipped as long, and they use all environmentally approved different papers and processes and things. So it's such a great partner to have, because sustainability is such a huge thing for me. So what I'm thinking for this week is First, I need to finish a print that I did kind of design over the holidays, and I want to just make some last tweaks and finalize it and show it to you. And then I'm gonna send it to the printer, and they're gonna print everything and send it to me all together. And we're gonna unpack that together. We're gonna take some product photography. I have some really kind of quirky ideas. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna use Shopify for my website, and I haven't really used it much before. So I'll also take you through how I'm like thinking about my website and designing that. And then finally, we're gonna launch the website and celebrate. One last thing is we're going to be packing some boxes. Once we get all those products, we're going to be packing some boxes for some shops that I want to get out to. So one of them I've already spoken to, and they're kind of like a wholesaler, and they're expecting me to send them a package. But the other ones, I just have to go in and visit them and like hand over a box. And so I want to make a kind of info sheet where we're going to put like some prices for retail shops and some pictures and things like that. So I need to design that and print that. I'll just do that myself, print that myself. So that's going to be a little nerve-wracking to like go into shops where I don't know anyone and just be like, hey, do you want my stuff? But I think I have kind of scouted out shops where I think it could be a good fit. Before we get into the illustration, which I think we should start with, I want to show you my insane level of pre-growing things for the garden, because this year my goal is fully to be able to be self-sustaining on vegetables for as much as the year as possible. And so there is some next level pre-growing. It's currently March, so it's a lot left of the spring, but let me show you. Okay, it's really backlit, so it's kind of hard to see. This is fully 1/3 of my pre-growing stuff. It's kind of intense, but I'm so proud of a few of the things. Like this year I've been growing bok choy, and look, they are working so well. It's super duper nice. I've also got some eggplant, these guys here. And of course, like 5 trillion bell peppers, tomatoes, everything. And let me just show you what's going on in the greenhouse, because it's also just so lovely outside today. My strategy for the greenhouse this year, so you can see I've got these different growing beds here. It's a little messy, that's okay. It's just in progress. My strategy for the greenhouse this year has been to plant a lot of things like quite early when it was still really cold. So you've got like carrots, salad, and these are radishes that have been actually coming in for quite some time now. Set up my arches here because I think my plan is to put like a lot of black beans and peas here. I'm super excited to be able to grow black beans this year because it's just one of our staples for making like tacos and stuff. So here's the illustration I've been working on. It says, "You help me blossom." And it's got like a heart, it's got all of these different flowers. And I just thought it would fit in really nicely with the theme I have of like the garden. But one thing I really want to do moving forward is create a lot more cards that have like a theme where you can give it to someone for their birthday, for Valentine's. But I don't want to like limit it too much to, let's say, Valentine's. So I wanted to create something where, yes, it's like a love theme, but it doesn't have to just be for a specific holiday. And so I think this fits really nicely. I have details to finish off on this. So I'm going to add like some water coming out. I need to add the details on this flower, need to add like the details on this butterfly, lots of little things like that. So let's finish that up together. I work in Procreate, and I think it's just such an comfortable way for me to draw personally, because I used to work, most of my work otherwise is in Adobe Illustrator. I just not found a way to make it feel as intuitive. But with this, like, I can work with different layers. So I like to use a brush called Dry Ink, which comes with Procreate, so you don't have to pay anything for it. And you can set these different sizes. If you just have a specific size, let's say you're on this size, once you're on that, you can click this little plus here, and that will add it as a preset brush stroke thickness. I just think it's so helpful that you can set these brush thicknesses, because they really create like a consistency in your work. Because if you're using like the same brushes and you're using the same thickness and things like that, it's something where a lot of people I know struggle with like developing their style, and I can totally relate to that. I think it's just about trying to experiment and not getting too stuck in your old like way of illustrating, or feeling afraid that if you develop your style, it's not going to match your other illustrations. Don't worry too much about that and just keep testing things out, keep experimenting, keep seeing what looks good together. You'll get there. I actually started drawing when I was really young, and I used to sit way too late, like till like 2 a.m. up at night and draw. And I used to have these books like how to draw dogs, how to draw horses, and so much of my like early childhood was me trying to learn, like copying different illustrations, of just trying to find out like how does it work to illustrate a horse or to illustrate like a cartoon character. And I made my brother like copies of like Pokemon cards and stuff. And I think it's just a great way to start developing your art skills, because you don't have to sell that art obviously because it's copyright or you're just copying something, but it's just a great way to start understanding the anatomy of things and getting into the groove of learning how to use like your fine motor skills and all that. Because I think fine motor skills is just one of those things where we really have to just get used to the feeling of drawing, and then everything else will just kind of come along. So if you're feeling a little bit unsure about what your style is, or if you feel like your art skills just aren't there, maybe try to find some art that you really enjoy and see if you can try copying it just as like practice, to see how it's structured, to understand like, oh, they're using texture or they're using a layout in this way, and try to figure out how that fits into your own art style. Okay, so we are finished. So this is the final piece. I'm so excited about how it's coming out, and I actually have one more to show you. So I also created this one. Let's see if we can see. And it's like a birthday cake. It's got tons of strawberries and like birds and happiness. I'll put like an image of it on the screen too. But it's just also one of those that could be a birthday card, but it also doesn't have to be. So I'm really excited to be having some of these. So I'm going to send these to print also to my printer to have them in that printing session that we're doing. So now before we wrap up for today, I thought I could actually show you some of the samples that I got to show you the color difference, because it's actually really, really, really nice. So I'll use some of my bookmarks to show you, because it's just such a drastic difference. And it's not that the designs I had before were bad. So I'll show you first. Here are like 3 of my different bookmark designs. These are the ones that I printed on my eco tank. They look beautiful. Like I love this forest theme, reading theme. They look great. Now, the only thing is when you compare them to what the new ones look like, it's just really, really different. So let's start with the pink one. So I hope you can see that, because this one looked nice before and it still does look nice. But when you see the difference between these two, you can really truly see like the colors, the detail. It's just so much more vibrant. And this is also printed with like a slightly thicker paper, and it has like a little bit of a gloss that I can't really get on my own printer. So it just feels a little bit more durable as well, which is really nice. My printer is pretty good at doing green, so you can't tell as much of a difference on the green ones, but you probably are able to see that this one is the printed one from the printer and this one is from my printer. And the same with these. The one with the tassel in is on my printer, and this one is from the print shop. I've ordered 10 greeting card designs, 4 different bookmarks, and I've also got 3 different notepads. So I'll show you as soon as they show up. Good morning. Today I thought we were going to tackle the website. So I don't have the samples yet, but what I can do is I can set everything up and mock it up using mockups. So I'm going to be using mockups anyway, like I mentioned, so I can always just use those and then get started. So basically make all the listings, build the homepage. I want to make like an about sustainability page and set up the newsletter. So I'm really, really excited to get started on this. And I have sort of set up my Shopify, but I haven't really built much yet. So I'm going to take you along and just talk about the different things I want to do and kind of see how it goes. I was also thinking we're going to design that flyer today and print a few, just so we have a couple, so that when the products arrive, we can pack everything together and go and visit those different shops. So with Shopify to build this site, I have a couple of different things I want to do. So first I need to just work on my online store. I also need to set up all of my different products. So what I started to do was just work on the products and work on the different listings. And I actually found it quite intuitive. There are a couple different things that you are going to have to think about, like having a think about how many you have in stock, of course adding like your pictures and your pricing. You can also keep like SKU numbers so that you know which different products are selling. You can keep on top of how many you have. And then also weighing your products so that when they're calculating shipping, you actually know how much it's going to weigh and it can accurately calculate shipping. So I've just been weighing all my products and making sure. Also, thinking about your HS code. So I know this is kind of like a boring side of it, but when you're selling, you need to put in your customs information. And the easiest way to do this, I find, is just to search for like HS code and then whatever you're selling. So like I searched for stationery and found one that I thought would make sense for that one. Collections is actually a huge reason that I wanted to go with Shopify, because when we had it on Etsy only, on Etsy you can only add like one category for each product, which is really, really limiting. So like let's say that I'm making a bookmark that is, well, it's a bookmark, so I want to put it under bookmarks. But then I might also want to put it under like book lover or bookish, or I might want to put it under like spring themes or something like that, or a Christmas collection. And I had to pick one. But in Shopify, you can create different collections and you can put your products into lots of those different collections. So my strategy here is I'm making collections for the type of product, like bookmarks, notepad, greeting cards. But then I'm also making one right now that's called like getting that spring feeling or spring feeling. And that way I can put all the products that I think will be most relevant right now when people go and browse my website. And then I can create one for Christmas, one for cozy autumn vibes and things like that. And that way it's going to be really easy for me to just quickly switch which of the different categories are shown on my homepage, because you can set up different blocks to show a specific collection. So that way I don't have to redesign big portions of my website for different seasons. I can just switch out which collection it's showing, which is such a huge help because it really saves a lot of time on that. I'm also building a kind of sustainability page where I'm putting a little bit about the paper quality and the products and things like that, and then the newsletter. So let's go and set that up. So here is what it looks like. I think it actually turned out really, really sweet. So I've used kind of elements that are from this kind of more scrapbooky feeling that I've got in some of my style, because a lot of the things I make are kind of like a nostalgic feeling. And I think that really does add a little bit of cuteness. I've actually just created a lot of these different things in Canva. And so you don't have to actually have any like fancy design software to do that. We've got the homepage just like we planned. We have got the about page and we got the newsletter set up. So one thing I also wanted to do was making sure that people can buy in their own currency. So I needed to enroll, I believe you have to do this, enroll for the Shopify payment setup. And then you can just customize under markets that they actually do like charge based on your location. So this is the design that I've been working on for my flyer. And I've kind of been wanting to make it feel very similar to the website. So I've been using like the same fonts and the branding and everything. And I've made it two-sided. It's going to be A5 size. So it's going to be like very easy overview. It's not going to be like a full product catalog or anything, just for them to get an overview of the type of product. So they're going to be getting samples in the boxes anyway. So we got 3 notepads. And the colors are so much better than on the ones that I print myself, which is why I am so excited for this. Also, I mean, hand making notepads is, it does take time. Okay. We did do a sample print of this, so they should be nice, but you never know, right? So I really like that it's all paper, because that makes it so much more like sustainable. Okay. From this side. Okay. Colors are so nice. And then they printed this on here, which is really good, because before they had my branding like on the back of each page, and so now they put it on like just on the back cover, which is really nice. They've glued this so nicely also, like it's nothing coming anywhere where you don't want it. And the pages are really thick. It's like 150 GSM. That's literally perfect. I'm so excited. Okay, let's do the other ones and see how they turned out. But that's literally could not be a better start. So next one is the reading one, which I think, to be honest, is my favorite notepad. I just think it turned out so cute, and I love like having the blue because it's a color that I don't normally do as much. Ooh, okay, that's adorable. It's so cute, and the details in the print is honestly, I mean, looking at like the little details for the flower, the book and everything, or like up here, the little details on the book. Just so comforting that they're turning out so nice, because if we're going to be ordering tons, that's just so nice to know that like literally everything that you've been printing, I mean, touch wood with the other stuff, but this all looks so beautiful. And the contrast is so nice. Like, I don't know if you can see that pumpkin, like, yay! So I got 50 of each of the notepads. And now we're gonna have a look at the bookmarks and the different cards. So they're all packed in here. So we'll see, this is kind of a giant thing of different stuff. So there's 50 of each of these as well. We have this like summer themed one. This is honestly one of my favorite designs. I just think it's so cute with the bees and the purple. Adorable. So we got, okay, the bookmarks are like all packed together. Let me see the best way to do this. So we have the just one more page, and the quality of this is so nice. They're like a little bit glossy, kind of like a velvet finish. Super nice. That's one design. I have the kids design with the whale, which also turned out super cute. The two like forest kind of cozy different designs. So this one's with a fox. That is really pretty. And I love how it's been cut, because it's like the corners are a really good size. We did talk about the size actually. And finally, these ones are just, I am blown away by the color in these. They're so vibrant. Like, look at that. I could never get that if I printed myself. So pretty. So all the bookmarks, we got some cards, another summer design, my Christmas fox, which is super cute. So I did get like a lot of Christmas designs too, and that's so pretty. I love the colors. So cute. Because I felt like when I'm ordering, I might as well get the different ones. So this is one of my newest designs. Could be like a Valentine's one, but it's a bit late, so I'd probably just do it as like a love and a birthday one. Super cute for anyone's into like bookish stuff, and like the details of this is just so nice, the printing. We've got one of my newest designs as well. I've really been adding a lot more detail, which I think we've been looking at earlier in this vlog. Just trying to get like a little bit more playfulness and like quirkiness into it. And then we've got a couple more of the Christmas ones that you might have seen if you looked at when we did the pop-up. So I've got the mulled wine one, the Christmas like citrus and flowers and stuff. They are all so pretty, and I really like the quality of the paper as well. It's really like, it's thick, but it's like, yeah, okay, look at this. This is so pretty. And like, I'm gonna be cutting this out. If we'll do really big quantities for this purchaser, then we'll have them cut it out for me, but it's not really worth it for this kind of quantity. So that turned out so nice. I was out with my son the other day, going to the playground, and I came across this absolute beauty of a spot with this little log here and this cute scene, and I thought I could use it to take product photos, so it's a bit of an experiment. So it was quite hard to work with this because of the lighting. It was quite harsh, but I think that the bookmark photos turned out so nice. So I'm really excited to add those to like maybe my Instagram or to my website in like specific sections. So now that we have everything, I'm gonna go ahead and pack up those boxes. I've done a little setup, so I'll film like one of the boxes as I'm packing it. And I'm gonna do one of them that has one of everything, so that's gonna be for the wholesaler. But I also wanna approach some places that I know, let's say, only sell greeting cards. So I'm gonna do only greeting cards for those. So I'll take you along and then we can wrap that up for the week. So I'm actually gonna wrap up the vlog here because my husband Jeremy just went to get our son from kindergarten and they're gonna go to the playground and it is 18 plus degrees and absolutely lovely outside. So I think I'm gonna get a head start on editing this vlog and then I'm going to just go out and like potter around the garden and see what little jobs need to be done because it's gonna get a bit colder in the next few days and I just really want to soak up the sun. So thank you so much for coming along for this week. I'm so excited. We launched the website, got the product, so much happened this week. So next week is going to be all about seeing the responses from those different shops that we approached to actually go and create a proper marketing strategy. I'm really excited to get back into Instagram. I will admit I've been feeling a little bit unsure what to do with Instagram because I'm really unhappy with what Facebook and Meta are doing with especially being so incredibly uninclusive for, lots of groups, but especially things like trans rights and stuff. And I've just really been feeling a little bit unhappy about being on the platform. At the same time, there just aren't very good alternatives and I still want to be able to reach out with like positive, eco-friendly and like just things that make people happy and run my business in a way. So I would love to hear your thoughts also. Like, are you still using Instagram? Are you approaching like another platform maybe? Let me know what you think, but I'm going to be thinking about my marketing strategy, which besides social media is also going to be including Pinterest and SEO and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see me do more drawing or exploring some of that marketing, then make sure to join me next week. Thank you so much for joining and have a lovely, cozy, and comfortable week.